Today is my first dessert that I'll be making for my channel, and it is my Cafe Cubano Creme Brulee. This dessert is the best. No cutting board or knives are needed. Also for this dessert, I use a ratio which is 5 eggs, 2 cups of cream, and half a cup of sugar. And that's it. Then you can add your flavoring in, which in this case, I'll be using espresso. So let's get to it. So first I'll get my cream started. This creme brulee is a little bit different. So I'm actually going to reserve a little bit of my cream, and I'll show you a cool tip at the end. So don't use the full 2 cups. Just save yourself about a tablespoon or 2 the bottom of the bottle. And then I'm going to start by adding 2.5 packets of espresso. And I'm going to put it on the stove on high. Now, keep an eye out on your cream because it tends to surprise boil over when you're not expecting it. So now I'm going to separate the eggs. You're free to keep the egg whites for something else. Maybe you like to make an omelet or a meringue. Those are 2 great options for leftover egg whites. Now this is the easiest way I do my yolks. So I'm going to crack my egg, let my white fall into this bowl and strain it, and then I have my yolk left over. That one was a little bit messy. All right, so gentle, crack it open, and the whites just fall right between your fingers. Sometimes you have to pull on them, but these eggs are really new or really fresh, so the white's just coming right off. Okay, so there's 5 yolks. I'm just gonna give this a little stir to incorporate the coffee, and I'll just let it sit. Okay, next is half a cup of my sugar, and have a whisk ready because you do not want the sugar to sit just on the yolks. They'll clump up, and then you won't be able to get those clumps out. I'm going to use 2 1/4 cups. So give it a good stir in there. Make sure all the sugar's incorporated. And then here's the other half of my sugar. So I'm just going to bring this over to the stove for the next part, where I'll be tempering the cream and my eggs together. While I'm waiting for my cream to boil, I'll talk about how I'll be cooking my creme brulee in the oven. I have my ramekins here, and then it doesn't matter what kind of vessel you put your ramekins in, as long as it's enough to hold the water around the ramekin. You can use a glass baking pan or a cookie, like a cake pan. Those are all fine. This is the easiest thing, and it helps actually to have a handle, so it's easy to grab it right out of the oven. Okay, it's erupting. All right, I'm gonna take it off the heat and take a ladle and ladle my mixture into my egg while stirring. You can't skip this step, or else your eggs will curdle in the oven and you'll have a broken creme brulee. And then it's safe to pour the rest in now. And I'm going to taste it to make sure I have enough coffee and that it's as sweet as I would like it to be. Tastes good to me. All right, I'm done with the stove part. Okay, so I'm going to pour it into something that makes it easy to pour into my ramekins. And I'm reserving my bowl because I'm going to use it again. So I'm going to fill these up probably just below the little divot here. Then I have 2 more. So this makes 7 servings of creme brulee. Now that cream I reserved, I'm gonna pour it a little bit in here, and I'm going to add a whole packet of espresso powder. And what I'm doing is I'm whipping it up, and this is going to be unsweetened. So it's gonna give a nice pop of espresso in the creme brulee. I'm not whipping it to peaks or anything. I just want to get it a little bit thickened so that it'll rest in the creme brulee. That's good enough. And I'm going to spoon a spoonful of this coffee into each ramekin. Okay, so I have my oven preheated to 345. If you're at lower altitude, probably keep it around 325. And then let it slowly bake in the oven. You don't want your pan to go dry, so make sure you have enough water at all times in the pan. It will reduce, so don't worry about that. Just make sure the pan always has some kind of liquid in it. So I'm going to bring my pan over to my oven, and then I'm going to pour the water in. And I'll just use a pie tin for the other 2 creme brulees. Make sure you're pouring hot water in. If it's cold water, it's going to take a lot longer for the water to keep up. And I will check these after about 15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to take a look at what my creme brulee is doing. This is still pretty liquidy, so I'm just going to let it go for another 10 minutes. What I'm looking for is that it is like when you're making your pumpkin pie. You want it a little bit jiggly in the middle and solid around the edge. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes, and I'm going to take my creme brulee out of the oven. You can see this one's more cooked, but they're jiggly. And then this guy is great as well. Sorry, the water. I missed a spot and I got some of the mixture in the water, so the water is kind of a funny color. So what I'm going to do for now is just let these rest on the counter for about 30 minutes, and then I can take them out and put them in the fridge. Okay, so I put one of my creme brulees in the fridge. You can see it's nice and firm now. And this is everyone's favorite part probably of making this dessert. So I'm going to caramelize my sugar on top. You can see I don't have a tiny blowtorch. I love these plumber's torches, and this is the kind of stuff that they use in most restaurants as well. So here we go. Don't be afraid to get too close to the sugar. this dessert because I call it my after dinner coffee dessert. It's gonna be so